Hello, my name is Leslie. I
Hi,
will be your
Leslie.
host today. Hi, how are you? I have my three sisters, Deborah, Gwen, and Georgette. And today we are going to cover a range of things. Our first topic we're going to discuss is mental health. And I want Georgette to start off for us today.
Okay, so I'm Georgette. Am I? And I'm going to talk about mental health, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so mental health is really the emotional, psychological, and overall well-being, and it really is how we interact with other people, the choices that we make, the things that
Absolutely.
we do, and just how it affects us in our decision making and just overall well-being.
And Deborah, on that note, how has mental health with the coronavirus and the protesters and the Black Lives Matter, how has that impacted your daily routine?
Well, you know what? Being in the home all day long, every day, that gets rather boring.
Okay.
And I do sneak out. I ain't gonna lie.
You sneak out
With
sometimes? Okay.
mama, with mama, I take her too. We just go riding and then come back home, and
Okay.
then we're good for another 2 weeks. So it's been rough, but
Okay.
it's got to be done, and we're doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Gwen, how has mental health affected you on your job? And you have your granddaughter that you're raising. How has that impacted you?
Well, I must say, Leslie, it actually hasn't been that bad.
Good.
Working all day, the only thing I don't like is wearing the mask 8 hours. But when I think about the consequences of not wearing it, then I make
Absolutely.
sure I put it on. But we're doing good. I try to get Grace out of the house as much as possible so she can kind of burn a little energy and
Yeah.
keep her mental health together. But for the most part, I think we're handling it.
Very good. And my next
Yeah.
question to
How
you,
about you, Leslie?
um, I've been handling it pretty well. I have some days. I have bad days. I have good days. It's kind of nice when you come over and we work out together and kind of get to let out some of that stuff we need to get out every now and then. So far so good. I'm just this is the new norm, uh, unfortunately. And on that note, uh, the topic that I want to talk about right now is I know they said that they want to open the schools. I don't know if y'all have noticed, it's going up, not down. Okay, the cases. My kids are grown, but I do have two grandsons that will either go to school or do online. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, they're thinking about letting out prisoners because of the COVID-19, but they want us to send our kids. I mean, what do you feel? How do you feel
Let
about
me
it?
tell you. Let me tell you how I feel. I say, hey, when presidents decide to open up the White House and let the people come in and do their touring again, okay, then it'll be time to open up
Okay.
the kids go back to school. But right now, they shutting down. Everything is shutting down again,
Yep.
and you want to send the kids back to school. Now, what? Are they gonna wear a mask all day for 8 hours? You expect these kids to put a mask on for as long as they're in school? And you expect
Absolutely.
them to do the social distancing? Come on now, we're talking about kids, okay?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's going to be really tough to do. I just
Absolutely.
totally disagree with that. I totally disagree.
Me too.
Especially, you can't even go to church. You can't even, the malls are shutting down, the nail shops, beauty shops, but you want the kids to go back to school. Come
Absolutely.
on now. Really?
Okay. That's how I
And,
feel
and the
about it.
president is still saying um, you have the freedom to not wear masks. So if he keeps doing that, then what's the point? We're going to just be like this forever.
Absolutely. Georgette?
I actually, my kids are grown, but I would definitely have a problem with it, and especially being can you guys see me? As a single mom, it's almost like, what do you do if they are mandating your kids go back, but you still want, your kids to stay home? And it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? It's like, that's extra stress on parents, the
Absolutely.
kids. And so I really honestly don't understand why they just can't do remote learning, for the first quarter to see how, this virus is doing. I don't understand what is the rush to put these kids back into school.
Absolutely.
And right now things aren't improving. So I don't
Absolutely.
understand that at all.
I think it will not last. All it takes is one kid to get sick,
Right. Yep.
and that kid is going to pass it on to everybody, and they're going to have to close the schools down. So,
Exactly.
Oh,
with
let's
that
not
said,
forget. I'm sorry. Let's not forget they want the parents to sign a waiver saying if the kids happen to die, that they can't sue the school district for it.
Are you kidding?
Did you guys hear about that?
No.
no, ma'am.
Yeah.
No.
Before they send the kids back to school, they want them to sign a waiver.
Oh, hell
Saying
no.
if my child dies while they're at school,
Okay.
that you can't sue us.
Oh, no.
Ain't that some mess?
Oh, that's messy.
That's some bull right there.
I haven't heard that one yet. That's
Me neither.
terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have not
Maybe
heard
not
that.
there, but in my state, the state of California, that's what they're saying.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
It's almost like you're being forced.
Right.
And then it's like, what are your choices here? Are you gonna now homeschool?
Exactly.
And it's, honestly, right now, I know for some parents, this has got to be weighing on them heavy
Yeah.
with school, probably for some 3 weeks away.
Absolutely.
And, even for teachers. It's like, now you got to figure out if your specific state says those kids have to come to school, you got to social distance, you got
Right.
and then if you're in junior high school and you got kids coming every, I ain't been in school so long, every period, now you got to figure out, okay, are you going to spread the seats apart when your schools are already overcrowded?
Mm-hmm.
I say let them stay home.
That's
I
what I
agree.
say too.
I
I
concur.
totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Another topic that has been on the TV quite often. Oh, first of all, what is up with you don't want to wear a mask?
Oh,
Okay.
my goodness.
Now,
That,
that makes me mad, okay? Because I have to wear a mask. I wear a mask to protect you, but you don't want to protect me. And people are actually out there protesting because they have to wear a mask. I don't understand.
I saw a guy put a gun on somebody for asking him to wear a mask.
Wow.
That is just horrible.
Somebody quoted saying that if they wear a mask, that shows a sign of weakness.
Yes, I heard
Like
that.
that
too.
you're letting the government control you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Come on now, where is that common
So
sense at?
and then I posted that there are even pastors telling their congregation you don't have to wear a mask. So, I think none of us have ever been followers like that. Like
No.
we use our brains and
Exactly.
but
Right.
so you got people going in a hospital actually dying, but you're telling me it doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
freaking serious?
This is
So
the world we live in now, unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah.
And why do you think that the statistics are saying that more Black people are getting the COVID-19 than any other race? Deborah, what do you think about that?
Well, it's due to the way they have the Blacks living and not having hospitals near them,
Mm-hmm.
or eating habits. Gwen talked about that
Yeah.
a little earlier. There's a lot of things. that's associated with it, but mostly they don't have the feasibility to be able to get to the doctor.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Especially if everything's closed down, you
Exactly.
have no way getting there.
I'm still looking to take a test. I would like to have a test to know if I have it or not, so I can know where to go and what
Absolutely.
to do. But I can't even get a doctor's excuse.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Gwen, any thoughts?
Well, I just want to say that first of all, we talked about it a little while ago about our eating habits.
Yes.
We like to eat a whole lot of pork and fat back and pig feet and
Yeah.
sausage, pork sausage, and
Yeah.
so part of it is our diet, and some of it too. We don't like to exercise, y'all. Come on.
Hello.
So it has a lot to do with that and underlying issues that we have going on, health issues.
Right.
So that has a lot to do with it.
Georgette?
I think you guys said it all, but even more than that, when you think about like underlying things that are causing us stress already, some of our bodies are already, I would say, compromised somewhat. So we have the higher rate of your diabetes and the high
Right.
blood pressure and the strokes.
Yeah.
And so compound that with now you have the COVID-19, and it's almost like we're, some of us, already not all the way healthy, but
Right.
now you have something attacking us when we're already being attacked
Right.
by what's going on in the world. So
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. Very
what do you think,
interesting.
Leslie?
I agree with all you guys.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Things got to get better. That's all I can say. Things got to get better. We
Yeah.
got to do better.
Mhm.
We
Right.
really do. We got to get better. Or
We just got to
this is
start
gonna be
eating
our
more
new-
healthier and
Absolutely.
Exactly. Mhm.
and exercising, because being forced inside the home right now, and we have to exercise.
Mhm.
That's a must. So
Yeah.
Right.
we are trying to do it,
Mhm.
right,
Absolutely.
Leslie?
Yes, ma'am. We're trying. We are definitely trying. Now, my other thing I want to talk about is I'm a parent. I'm a Black mother who has a Black son. And why do we have to sit our children down at an early age, okay? 5 and 6. Does anybody else have to do that? Sit
No,
your
of
child
course
down
not.
and tell them how to act. Do everything you can. When the police tell you to do this, do it. Keep your mouth closed. Okay? We all know this. My son, I worry about him every day, and my grandsons.
Yep.
They could be the next ones.
Mhm.
Okay? So what can we do to change that?
We're
I'm
trying.
I'm
We're
all
trying.
for police reform, or something's got to change. I'm sick and tired of picking up my phone or watching TV, and
Mhm.
every day it's the same crap. Okay, and it's got to stop. I'm very proud to see all the young people out there
Protesters out there.
protesting. More
Right.
power to you and
Yes.
to the cause for the
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter, and then we have those that say, well, I don't understand. Okay, now this is where I'm gonna get a little crazy. Okay, all right. So people say, okay, so how you gonna say Black Lives Matter when you got black on black crime? Excuse me?
Right.
Okay, so that's not what we're talking about right now, though. We talking
Right.
about
Right.
police brutality and them killing our kids, our husbands,
Right.
our fathers, our
Mhm.
daughters. That's what we're talking about. We can
Mhm.
we can pick up that one black on black crime at another time, but this is a specific thing that's going on right now. What can we do about that? Hello, anybody?
I don't know, Leslie.
I think that I think one of the things, and I'm gonna talk about when I was in Arizona and dealing with some things, just I think in the community, it's going to be up to a lot of the parents to visit the mayor, visit your council members,
Absolutely.
try and get a sit down with your senator, write your letters. But I think as a community, you have to work together, to make sure that you are getting to know what officers are in your area.
Absolutely.
And if like churches, for instance, pastors, if they tell the whole congregation, you know what, we're going to invite the police chief here,
Exactly.
get to know him, and guess what? Let him know your issues and concerns. Let's start to have some type of dialogue where,
Right.
if you're going to be in our communities, this is our expectations of
Exactly.
you, or if a person is even stopped, know that you have a right to call the officer in charge, the captain, or somebody who will come out.
Yes.
And, let's educate the people in the neighborhoods, but I think it's a matter of have these conversations, not just amongst one another, but let's go out to the mayor,
Exactly.
let's go out to the city council member, and tell that police chief, bring some of them officers, the ones who are in these freaking neighborhoods, have
Exactly.
them come to the church, and let's talk about how we're interacting with one another, because I don't know any other way that this is going to ever stop.
I agree.
Sad to say.
Gwen?
Well, it does say that the House passes this sweeping police reform bill.
Mhm.
It would be nice to be somewhat a part of that, to find out exactly what types of reform they are doing with the police department.
Exactly.
That way, if we're ever stopped or our kids are stopped, we know for a fact what exactly to look for.
Exactly.
I was watching this video the other night, and one thing I learned was you can ask the officer to turn on his body cam.
Absolutely.
He didn't have his body cam on. So that's another thing we can have the kids make sure that they see this little red light coming on.
Right.
There has to be reform in the police department in order for us to feel a little bit more confident in when our kids leave out that front door.
Exactly. That they're going to come back
our
home.
daughters.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm going to be keeping my eyes on the reform of the police department.
Mhm.
See
Me too.
exactly
Yeah.
what takes place.
Exactly.
And when you make a really good point is, we know there's reforms, but how do we get involved with that process?
Exactly.
And we're in it in the beginning, so we have some input. I like that.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Deborah, you have anything to elaborate on that?
No.
Okay.
What do
Thank
you think, Leslie?
I agree with all you guys. I think we should have a say.
Mhm.
I would like to be on that committee.
Mhm.
I have lots of ideas that could help maybe bring the gap together.
Right.
Such as
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot like that? Oh. You know what?
sorry.
She put me on blast, you guys.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, because it's some good stuff. I mean, there's stuff that we're all talking about here, and I'm thinking to myself, come next week, I'm gonna be calling my mayor. Like, what can I do? So, I do want to hear what you got to say.
Well, hold on a minute too, and I'm going to say too, as far as like our sons that have mental illness, I've been seeing their kids with mental illness getting stopped, and they're even killing them. Now, come on, there's got to be some sort of
Elijah McClain is one of them. My
right,
God.
right.
Why
So-
did they do that?
And why is it always, when it's a black person, why is it always hand on gun?
I
Automatically.
know it all the time. Every time.
What's the fear? I don't get that part.
And Leslie, that's exactly what we need to be asking these police chiefs and,
Why
and
do
have these
you?
discussions.
That's right.
Why?
But it goes
Why do you
further.
guys automatically reach for your gun. Why?
Mhm.
Why?
Okay.
Why is
Okay,
it
look.
necessary?
I seen a video the other day. Two cops.
Yes.
This white guy on
Yes.
the ground.
Yeah.
He rolled over.
Uh-huh.
He
Took the baton.
took the baton, started beating the cop, and
Ran after
ran and
Not
him.
jumped,
get into
ran
his
and
car.
jumped in his police car and took off in their police car.
Okay.
Okay, so
No.
at what point was he supposed to get shot, or at what point? How come they didn't do what's that? The little
Taser.
Taser.
the
So I
taser.
think they did tase him, and it didn't really affect him. Like he was still like going after the cop.
So why
Okay.
wasn't the gun out then?
So how come they didn't pull a gun out? So how come he didn't get
Exactly, and
shot?
that's exactly the
And he took off
conversations
in
that
the
have to
police
take
car
place.
too?
Mm-hmm.
But it
You
goes,
see what I'm
it
saying?
goes higher than just reforming the police. We have DAs, okay? We have the DAs that have this come across their desk and they're saying, oh, he had just cause.
Exactly.
He had just cause to shoot the
Yeah.
guy when he did everything that he asked him to do. So it goes so much further. We are
Yeah.
just uncovering a little bit of it right now,
Right.
but
Right.
there's got to be reform across the
Exactly.
board.
Right.
Is
Yeah,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can I touch on what Gwen said? You know, for a lot of parents who are dealing with kids who may have mental challenges, you know, when you're in a situation where you have to call a police officer, you don't call. You call like a crisis intervention team police
Right.
officer or a PERT member. It's not
Right.
a regular cop that you're going to be calling. It's someone who deals specifically with that. And for parents, you can actually go down to the police station and let them know maybe you have a
Okay.
child who
Right.
is, you know, has some type of challenges, and so they
Exactly.
know already they're in their system. Do not
Yeah.
send no regular cops when this parent has a child maybe going through some type of
Mental.
illness or type, you know, a
Mhm.
mental challenge. So I think all parents need to know that because not everybody is aware.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but even when you call and you ask for the PERT team, it's usually one person that's qualified to
Right.
make that clinical decision. But along with them come cops.
Exactly.
And from what I've seen, sometimes the cops get there before the person
Yes.
that's a part of the PERT team,
Mhm.
and they've already taken matters into their own hands, and that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
It
Right.
needs to be changed the way officers
Right.
deal with mental illness patients.
I think
People.
I saw in New Mexico, and I don't quote me on this, but they're going to actually start having like mental health specialists. I guess either go to an actual crisis place, or you know, if a person's having a challenge, they're trying to really push where you're having more counselors and I don't know if it's social workers, but more people in that mental health field who's going to be responding to those type of calls in lieu of police officers, which I think is
I
a
think
really
that's
good thing.
And
that's
that's
positive.
what defunding is talking about.
Right.
It's defunding certain monies that the police department
Right.
gets
Yeah.
and put it into health services
Mental health.
for
Exactly.
those people, because
Right.
there's a lot of boys and girls out there with TSP. Well, what is it? What's it
PTSD.
called? Okay,
Yeah.
TPST.
Now
Did
we
I
know
say
what
it
you
right?
mean. We know what you mean.
Okay.
PTSD. Mhm.
Oh yeah, PTSD,
Right.
and ain't nobody doing anything about it.
Yep.
We're killing them.
Yeah.
And
So,
not to
right.
mention,
We
yes.
need
Exactly.
that money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
right.
it's about. It's not
Yeah.
about
right.
getting rid of the police department. It is
Mhm.
taking care of some people that need the help.
Absolutely.
And your
and-
military members. You got a lot of
Right.
military
Exactly.
members. You got first
Mhm.
responders, even firemen. They're all dealing with. They might be dealing with some type of
Doctors and
PTSD. So
nurses.
it's exactly. So
So they need
this
proper
is
training.
and you know what? I am so glad we're talking about this right now, because this is the perfect time, you know, to really, and I'll say for me, getting more into the mental health field, to reach out. How can we work together
Yes.
to
Yes.
make this better?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies, this has been a very good talk. These are things that are going on in all over the world. Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to sit and talk about it and see how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are feeling the same way we are. And this is what we need to do, is have a platform so we can speak our minds and keep it real.
Exactly.
So with that said, I wanted to cover just a little tiny bit.
I know where you're going,
Just a
Leslie.
little tiny bit.
Go ahead.
Can you say Jada? Okay.
Jada and Will.
Now, first of all, I had everybody calling me saying, girl, did you see the video? I was like, no, I have not seen it. Don't want to see it. Don't care. I really don't want to see it. Then part 2 came out, I guess, a couple of days ago. So my daughter calls me, says, Mom, you gotta watch it. I said, girl, I don't really care. So I went on and put it on, and I was like, okay. Did she say she had an entanglement? Is that what she said? What the heck? What the hell is an entanglement? I ain't never ever heard anything like that before in my life.
I ain't gonna lie, I did go to the dictionary because I wanted to see if maybe there was a a word that we never heard of before.
And what
I'm
it
like,
say?
okay, that's a new one.
So what did it say? What is entanglement?
I would have to go back. It was just like getting involved in some type of mix up. Girl, look, I can't retain stuff that long.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna just my 2 cents. She had an affair with a child, and she should be shaming herself. She gets up there every day and getting all people's business. Okay, got nerve to be calling people out. Now we need to call her out. Okay, what she did was disgusting. Okay, it was wrong, and I didn't understand the tap they did at the end, talking about bad marriage for life. Was that supposed to be funny? was that funny? Anyway,
It was strange.
That's what I want.
I guess I'll talk about, I guess, my thoughts on it, and
then we're gonna leave it alone.
No, we are gonna discuss it, but I just kind of feel like, and I'm not there, and that's their thing. I was reading about the young man, August Alsina, and then I'm looking at all the things he's been through, and he went there for some help support. So, I kind of feel like if he opened up his heart for love, and maybe it was like the first time he felt like, wow, somebody actually really cares for me right now. Now he's going off and feeling like he done went back and dropped down to a low point. So it's like, it's even bigger than that. It's about your children and, overall, like, you may do the fist bump, but, let's be honest, it's going to affect you and your household, your children, and him. So look at the entanglement of everybody who's in that entanglement right now.
Exactly.
So, that's
Deborah,
my thoughts.
Deborah, give your 2 cents.
Oh yeah. I'm appalled that he put this guy further back than forward with her actions, and I'm just really disappointed. That's
Gwen,
all I have to
what
say.
you got?
Well, I just want to say, because Honey Child, I had to look at it. They say it's a complicated or compromising relationship or situation.
Oh, situation.
Or
Okay.
situation.
Like a situationship.
Yeah. Okay. My thoughts are, okay, let's just be real. A lot of us have done a whole lot of things, but that show ain't one of them. It's just
Exactly.
messing around with your son's friend that he got enough of his parents to bring to the house to help this young man because he was dealing with a lot of issues. And I can think of a lot of ways if I just wanted to feel good, I could think of a lot of ways to feel good, but that just ain't one of them.
Okay.
So for me, that was a very selfish act on Jada's part because,
Yeah.
oh, you wanted to just feel good, as if your husband don't make you feel good.
Oh,
That's a slap. That's
that
a
was
slap
like
in
a
your
That
face.
was
that was like
tough.
sticking
Yeah.
That's a
When he
slap.
said, I just wanted to feel good. And I'm
To
imagining
feel
like,
good.
wow.
you know, and I know they did the fist bump and he kind of looked like he had been crying. I mean, it
Yeah,
just
he
looked
did.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jada, all I gotta say is, girl. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm, mm.
That's not cougar status right there. That's something else right there.
Show is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we covered it. Can't say we didn't.
Can I just say something real fast, Gwen? And you just touched on something. And I hate to say it like this, but you know, he was trying to get healed, and it sounded like she was trying to get healed too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's almost like when you're whole, you know, you don't hopefully get involved in those type of things. When you're still broken or you're still in need of healing, there was something in her that made her do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that made her do that.
well, I'm saying like the whole mental thing here. Like,
Right.
is she
Well-
wrong? Okay, yeah, she's wrong, but there's something in her that she felt like she had to fulfill to be happy.
That's
Okay.
why they have therapists and
I know.
psychiatrists.
But I
And-
guess that was a therapist. I don't know. I'm sorry.
just saying.
Okay, but yeah, it's one
She
of those.
crossed the line. She crossed the line.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We done with that, okay? We ain't gonna discuss it anymore. It's done.
Okay.
So anyway,
I'm not sick of hearing about that anyway.
who you telling?
Yeah. Mhm.
So with that said, this was very good.
Yeah.
Very good to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
When you watch this video, I hope if you have any questions, any thoughts about anything, bring it to us and we can discuss it on our next program. We're going to try to do this every 2 weeks. We're going to keep it real because we are sisters. And we're going to keep pushing, keep letting y'all know what's going on, how we feel about it.
Next time I'll have my wine.
Well, I got mine.
Hey, Leslie, can we let us see you guys' blouses real quick? Let
Oh.
everybody see your blouses.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of like go like that real quick. Yes, yes.
All
there
right.
we go. Hey, okay. All right.
And actually, that's for my nonprofit, Rise Up, and it's for mental health awareness, resources, homelessness, and just added on social justice reforms. You know, most people who start a nonprofits for a cause. And so I've been doing that since August, and we're forging forward. Want to be able to help so many people in the community with just giving them hope for whatever they're going through.
Exactly.
So,
I understand you have some masks also.
yes, I do.
I saw some masks on. Like, do you happen to have one laying around anywhere?
Well, at this particular moment, it's not. Oh yeah, actually I do. So this is the I Rise Up mask.
Okay.
And I always do this backwards. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Yes. And so I put my own little spin on it, and I put my own little, I learned something new, how to put my own little rhinestones.
Ah,
So,
okay.
yeah, so I learned something new.
Okay, very good.
So, yeah, so
Well, thank you. Thanks
so
for
it's all
sharing
about
that.
being safe, stop the spread. And so
Absolutely.
that's the whole thing right now. Let's stop the spread, because if we don't, we're going to have to be in the house that much longer.
Yes, you
Please
need
vote. Please vote. It is
wear a
important
mask.
to vote 2020, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
With that said, sisters,
Sister
I
Bump.
enjoyed it.
Boom, fist
Boom.
bump. Till the next time. Thank you
All
guys
right.
for joining us, and this was a good time.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Leslie.
Thank
Keeping
you.
it,
Bye, sisters.
sisters, keeping it real. Thank
Keeping it
you.
real.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.